What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to an all-new Let's Play Rome 2 Total War Empire Edition. We are obviously playing as Rome, and we have declared war on the Etruscan League. In the last episode, we began a naval blockade on Eulalia, but we also have basically we have occupied the city of Ariminum. And I guess my next priority, can these guys move at all? No, they can't. My next priority is to move this army all the way over to Eulalia. And the idea is we have this navy here, but sadly enough, naval units are only good at sea, and they are not necessarily good at destroying any type of army. And Eulalia does have an army, so I do need to be cognizant of that. And so what we're going to do is, now that we have encircled, we're still on the same turn, we haven't really moved forward, but now that we have encircled this province, we are going to declare our war, and rather than doing an auto-resolve, we're actually going to show you a little bit about how some of the tactics and strategy of the Total War franchises can play out. Now, obviously, we have a much bigger army than they do. Many of these units are actually peasants, so I don't think this battle is really going to be all that really terrifying. But unfortunately, we don't have really any cavalry units other than our general, and we don't really have any good ranged units either. So as we move on, we are going to be getting a back line of ballista. We are probably going to get 1 or 2 cavalry units and some really powerful but defensively powerful front lines. And so, as I said earlier, I'll talk about this in a minute. As I said earlier, the entire idea is I want a cunning playstyle where I use tactics and strategy to overwhelm the enemy rather than using brute force. And so the idea is I would ultimately have to, work a little bit harder, but I would save many lives, and that means I would save a lot of money because I wouldn't need to continually rebuild a lot of our troops. So basically, when you're looking at the map, you have 3 different chances or 3 days to wait for the perfect opportunity to strike. So I don't want to fight in the fog. I don't actually, dry conditions are perfect, so let's go ahead and start deployment. There are no adverse effects, so that means whenever we do declare war, it should not be a big problem by any means. Let's actually zoom in. You can see here that the graphics are absolutely phenomenal if you do zoom in, and you can see that every particular unit is actually, not really every unit's different, but there is a lot of different flavor. All the shields are different colors and randomized. I'm not sure if every face is different, but it is really cool because you can zoom in and see pretty much anything and everything. And look at all of this grass. I don't know, I just think that's neat. So anyway, let's go ahead and we are assaulting. You can see our fog of war. It's not really all that great right now, but we're about to assault the city. And I would like to come in from this side, and the reason why is I just think we have a straight shot into the town square here. So let's go ahead and take all of our swordsmen, bring you like this, take all of our, what's the word I'm looking for, ranged units, and then finally we have our 2 spearmen, like such. And our general will stand in the back. Let's start this battle. And what I'm going to do is I know I'm going to win this battle. They ultimately are pretty much just peasants. So what we're going to do is take all of our swordsmen and just begin marching on into town. There are a variety of, chokeholds where they could have some defensive provinces or defensive formations, but I don't think they're really going to be that big of an issue. And our troops are marching in. Very cool, very uniformed. Sadly, though, these are medium melee infantry and not heavy, so they're not really all that strong. These guys are going to protect our flank. I highly doubt anything's going to come from that area, but just in case, these guys will protect this flank. And these ranged units are going to try to go through this square. I don't actually think they can move through the square. It's kind of cool, though, how it looks. But just in case, apparently they can throw spears all the way over this ledge. I feel like the average person would be able to throw from, here to here. So what we're going to do is try to whittle them down. They have some heavy spearmen, which are going to be easy for our medium melee infantry to take out. but our cavalry, if we actually had some, which we don't, they would definitely not do well at all. So let's take 2 of these units. You are now going to be moving on in, I'm guessing, all the way up here. And we're going to try to do like a pincer formation. I don't think we can actually run this way. I see a road, but I'm not sure. I guess we could find out soon. The only real way to enter this area is, I guess, through that direction. We could take about 2 additional swordsmen and make them walk to the other side. That's kind of odd. I see that this is even though this is Latin and this is owned by the Etruscans, I see a Roman flag, so that is kind of odd. And it looks like there's some damage here from, I guess, a siege. I don't know where any of their troops are, so that is obviously very daunting. Let's move the rest of these guys up as well. They're going to be in the back line. And I also want my general here to provide morale. So obviously our forces won't break away when the combat starts. They'll feel inspired. I am going to speed this up just a little bit. And maybe I'll do fast forward. All we're doing is waiting for our troops to come into place. And finally, we are now going to go back to our regular playstyle. These units are going to move in. And I guess try to do as much damage as we can. They have a lot of troops here. But we're going to move in from the other end and try to sack all of their archers. You can see that they are obviously a different color. Many of these men are actually peasants, so not really well equipped, not really disciplined. You're going to go here, take out the swordsmen, or excuse me, swordsmen are better against pikemen. So you're going to come here, you are going to move in. And what's cool is, I don't know if I mentioned this last episode, but ultimately the reason why Rome does not use any type of archers is because generally archers are only good against things like cavalry and things that aren't really heavily armored. So the idea is they use spears instead, and so spears, though they have very little range, they actually do a heck of a lot more damage. They can pierce shields, they can go through heavy armor. It looks like they are already retreating because we are flanking from the opposite end. Let's move on through. But the idea is, as you can see, all of these troops actually have spears on the back. And they only have 1 or 2, but they do a lot of damage before they actually move on in. I love the graphics. This game is, for only about $10, this is really a neat game. Sadly, though, I thought can these guys move in? Can they move up? What? Oh, no, I don't know if they can move through this door. I guess that's my question. But this is pretty much how you play. Ultimately, as and the idea is we want to control this square to win the game, or to win the battle, because then we technically own the city. But as you continually progress through the campaign, you are going to be unlocking a lot more units, and like obviously if I had cavalry units, I would be marching them this way and then assaulting their archers, where they're obviously exposed. But I feel like this is going to be the end very soon. And the unit that used the ammunition was obviously in the back line. These are swordsmen, not ranged units. I'm going to shift-click you around, and then shift-click you over. Everybody else is doing a ton of damage. Some people are standing in the back line. Well, I don't know why these guys are retreating. They're tired. All they're doing is taking out archers. And I guess an angry mob that obviously is not armored, does not have shields. They have daggers rather than swords. You can see that the cavalry units are not really in a good position to do some shock and awe. These units are taking archer fire, but because they have shields, really no damage is taking place. I mean, yeah, they're taking damage, but very, very little. And sadly, I think I might, well, I don't know, I could make this these units are retreating. I was going to speed up the game because ultimately we know we're going to win. Let's go ahead and look at the cinematic mode. You can see that we're actually charging in. This is so awesome. And this game was only $10. Very, very cool. The amount of detail, you can see that these are obviously peasants, angry mobs. They didn't have shields a minute ago. Maybe this is a different mob. Or maybe I just never noticed. Let's go ahead and glance around the battle. I would like our general. You're actually going to do some damage to these archers. Let's also go into cinematography mode. These guys are very fast, very mobile, and what's cool is they do a lot of damage to archers. And, like, don't get me wrong, they do a lot of damage to swordsmen too, but generally swordsmen have armor. Here we go. Alright, they're all trying to flee, but we're gonna flank from the side. Oh no! Did we move or did we attack? I could have swore we attacked them.
The battle is turning in our favor.
They slowed down their charge. But anyway, now that we've attacked from both sides, we have completely wiped out all of the morale, or their will to fight. And so as you can see, that unit just got obliterated. And they are no more. Let's double click, so then they're gonna definitely sprint faster. And watch this cavalry charge. We are going up a hill, so things are gonna slow down. Obviously, as people go up hills and terrain, they do get tired very easily. I don't know if these are archers, though. Or maybe they're slingers. Or just angry mobs, I don't know. Where's our general? He probably has a fancy hat. I guess it's him. I don't know. But I see two of them. Okay, well, the battle is pretty much ours. I guess this is the only guy that we have not killed. Oh, all these guys are still fighting. Could these units move forward? Yes, they could. Yes, they can. You are all going to come here. Our general is still obviously alive. Did not lose a single unit, which is amazing. And all we really have left is just to destroy these spearmen, which might take a while. So, in fact, I am going to speed this up. Look at all of these spears. And what's sad is they're probably attacking my units as well. Okay, you need to come here, like now. Do some damage. All of these guys are winded, so I'm sure they're going to get tired, and then obviously lose morale, and then obviously lose a lot of hit points. We are on the fast forward. Everybody is doing a lot of damage. We obviously knew we were going to win coming into this fight.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Let's actually attack from both sides. This really annihilates all of their morale. And so as you can see in just a moment, they are, losing, shaken. They are literally about to get annihilated. And they can't really retreat. Maybe they can. Okay, we have won this battle. We could obviously clean up whatever's left, but I don't think I want to waste everyone's time. I could save the replay, not going to do it because I knew we were going to win. We lost 376 troops. They lost 1,500. So obviously they had an army, but they also had a lot of mobs and a lot of garrison troops as well. But what's also neat is you can see how many units a particular unit destroyed. And because we have taken the city of Velathri, once again, we can occupy it, loot it, or raze it. We are going to occupy the city, and just like that, we own all of Italia. So I am happy about that, but my new goal, and I guess we've leveled up as well, my new goal is to really focus on the economy, and obviously I want to take out Corsica, but right now we have a lot of unrest. That is going to go away very soon. Negative 40 is going to go away and go to a positive number next turn. But now that we own the entire, I guess what's the word I'm looking for? Now that we own the entire province, I can pass an edict, and I am going to try to get more taxation. Try to get as much money as I possibly can, and very soon I do want to get 3 growth. I could try to grow Velathri. I don't think I really want to do that. But once I get 3 growth, I'm going to be expanding the city of Rome, and then I am going to be building a siege workshop. And the idea is obviously to, get ballista, so then that means I could definitely start doing better. Sadly, people are very upset down inside Magdagration. Nothing I can really do about it right now. But let's go ahead, end this turn. Obviously, all of our units are going to get replenished over time. Because we won 2 battles, because every battle we win, our general basically gets some experience. And let's go ahead and give him a skill. We have a variety of different branches. We have the Authority branch, the Cunning branch, and the Zealous branch. And ultimately, Authority inspires your troops. It gives you a variety of new tactics and new abilities you can click on the battlefield that will basically rally troops. It's really pretty good. I believe Cunning is one of my favorite, and the idea is it allows you to use traps and different tactics. And ultimately, the entire goal is you try to create a battle plan before just marching headstrong in. So the idea is basically what I would have is in the back line, I would have a lot of, ballista, and so if I had a Cunning tree, I could basically get more ammunition and better defensive skills. And I believe Zealous, I never really go into this one, but I believe Zeal is ultimately just really powerful and really experienced troops. So it doesn't really have to deal with authority, it just deals with experience. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to give you Cunning, I'm going to give you Strategy, and we'll talk a little bit about Gravitas later. And once again, we have the other leader. We obviously had this legion and this legion. Gonna give this man Cunning as well. So this went from 3 to 4. And as the general gets stronger and stronger, he is harder to kill by a spy or an agent. So that is good as well. Let's end this turn. Very soon, my next actual goal is to probably send this unit on over to Corsica. So let's end this turn. We are about to basically get a new technology, which I believe is the siege camp, or the workshop, I guess. And then we could build ballista, but sadly, we do not have the growth necessary.
Benefit if we agree to open trade from.
We do not have the growth necessary to basically, construct that workshop. We need 3 growth. We are very far away. We just set up one of our very first diplomatic trade deals with the city of Veneti. And the idea is we are going to be making some money. They will start to like us over time, but sadly, if I did decide to attack them with a trade deal, a lot of nations probably would not like that. So now that we have these troops, we are now going to actually force march you all the way to the city of Rome, and next turn, I'm going to try to sail my units on over. Sadly, it is going to take some time. These units are continuing to grow. Let's go ahead, now that we have unlocked the actual workshop, which is really exactly what I wanted, I'm now going to start working on civil land management. And so for the rest of the game, we're going to get 1% wealth from all of our agricultures, and this is only going to take 2 turns. And I know 1% doesn't seem like a lot, but it really will begin to add up over time. So looking at Araminium and Velathri, I have some money, might as well put it to good use. I think I'm going to actually upgrade the city of Rome. And the reason why I want to do this is, yes, we'll lose a food, but we're going to get 5 growth per turn to the, provinces of Italia. And so that's going to really make this population a lot better over time. I'm probably going to do the same thing in the next couple turns. I'm probably going to upgrade the city of Actually, I'll probably upgrade Neapolis first, as they have an olive press. And obviously, so basically, this city produces olives. This one produces wine. And if you go up here, Patavium produces glass. All of these different commodities give you a variety of different improvements. So I believe glass helps with technology. I have absolutely no idea what wine does. It's probably something along the lines of public order, and I'm guessing olives are the same. And another thing about forced march, so obviously you could see that this unit was forced marched. whenever I put a unit into Force March, they basically can't really produce units. And obviously, if they get attacked, they're going to have a lot of severe penalties. So the best time to do a Force March is when you know you aren't going to be attacked. And so obviously, what we're going to do is take these units, unforce march ourselves, and then move you in. Oh, that didn't work. So let's try again. We are now going to force march ourselves and make our way over to Eulalia. Sadly enough, I'm curious if we are still... Yep, we're doing double time because we can't obviously march on the water. And what I want to have happen is once we... next turn, we should be able to begin our siege. We already have them encircled, but now that we have an army, we should be able to wipe them out very easily. Now that we have 2,000 coin, we obviously upgraded the city of Rome. Let's begin upgrading. What would happen? Do I want to build a better olive grove? I would get more growth and more food. I don't need that. Okay, so I do want to build this large vineyard, and the idea is all of my provinces now get +2 public order for the rest of the game, so I absolutely want that. That'll make things a heck of a lot easier. Let's go ahead and end this turn. We're about to unlock the new technology, which is obviously land management, and then my _1 goal is to probably go somewhere. Okay, looks like we're being attacked. This is a naval battle, so we obviously will win. Let's go ahead and auto-resolve. I am going to do a moderate stance because everything is very high, or a balanced stance, and we should win this fight. Close victory. Well, that was incredibly easy. Let's occupy this. I had no idea that it was going to be that easy. I thought we were going to have to send our army over. No, the faction has been destroyed. We have unlocked land management, and sadly we have a bad omen. This is only going to be for a few turns. But let's actually send you back to Rome. And now, because we have people stationed inside Rome, the entire province of Italia went from -1 public order to +5. So over time, this -24 might actually go to +100 compared to -100, as it could. So we won't have a continual downward spiral. We're in the middle of winter, which is never good. Let's go ahead and also utilize our next technology. So we can go into construction, philosophy, or the economy. I think my #1 goal, having a library would be really nice, and also unlocking a dignitary would basically... It's kind of like an agent that improves taxation and culture. But I think my #1 goal, I really want more growth, so let's go ahead and go into construction. And if I get tax labor, all of our provincial capitals and minor settlements, construction cost is now cheaper. Wow. I like that, but ultimately we want the growth. So I guess we're going to end this episode. Thank you all for joining me. Hope you all have an awesome day. I will see you in our next adventure.